All right, guys, so today we are going to talk a little bit about the upcoming 2021 MacBook Pro. There has been a ton of rumors out in regards to this machine, and I don't expect to see that end anytime soon. So I wanted to just kind of go over some of the rumors that we've seen here and why I think this machine, if the rumors are even somewhat true, could definitely be the machine that you may want to hold out for. I have right here, it's kind of out of shot for you guys, but right here, the M1 MacBook Pro with 16 gigs of RAM, and it's fantastic. I actually replaced my 16-inch MacBook Pro with this 13-inch. But now, if I were looking at a machine and especially had a MacBook or had a Mac computer and could wait, I probably would. And let's go over here and just take a look at what these new machines are rumored to possibly be holding or containing. So first off here, so this is actually from Tom's Guide, MacBook Pro 14-inch 2021. First off, in the title, we're going from a 13-inch to a 14-inch, and this is probably going to be very similar to what we saw when the 15-inch MacBook Pro turned into the 16-inch MacBook Pro. There was no real physical difference in actual size of the old 15 to the now current 16-inch MacBook Pro. The only thing that actually happened was the actual bevels on the 16-inch MacBook Pro were considerably smaller. So the screen got bigger inside the same casing. I had one of the old 2015 MacBook Pros and put it up against the 2019 at the time 16-inch MacBook Pro, and it was indistinguishable between the two in regards to size. So my guess would be that's what they're going to do with the 13.3-inch. Casing wise, going to look identical, which is great because that should mean that a lot of our cases and things that we have now should fit the 14-inch, just with a bigger screen. Will it affect resolution? That I'm not too sure of, but we'll get a bigger screen a little bit, and shouldn't have to invest in new accessories, which is kind of nice. Let's kind of go through here. So MacBook Pro 14-inch 2021 release date. Evidence right now they're saying is pointing to July. This has been up in the air a little bit. We've seen some reviews pointing as early as March, now pushed back till July. July still not being that far off, about 4 months now that we're into February. But it does make sense to see them possibly release something slightly or just after WWDC, which would come out, of course, in June, that they could talk about a new OS, release a new machine, and then, of course, in the fall, release the full OS to everybody. But the nice thing is getting that machine out in summer, which a lot of times there's a bit of a lull, and making sure that the original sales, that would probably be very high, I would think, kind of have a chance to level off a little bit before back to school hits. So good timing, I would think. June, I would think, would be smarter. Putting it out in August, as good as it would be for initial sales, I think the problem is that a lot of buyers would be students, and if you put it out then, unless they can guarantee that their stock is going to be really high, which it definitely wasn't with the original M1 Mac, then that could be a real issue. So earlier would definitely be better. Here's kind of the big things. The first one is, the MacBook Pro 14-inch, their M1 successor. So there's been a couple different rumors out there in regards to what this would be. Would it be an M2 or an M1X? We don't know really based on what it's going to be named, but a lot of testing shows that it could be upwards of anywhere from a 12, 16, or 20 core M1 successor, so a 20-core Apple Silicon-based processor inside this. And what we could see on the 20-core machine is a possibility of 16 high-performance cores, as it says here, with, of course, 4 high-efficiency cores. But they are seeing or getting reports of testing on an 8 and a 12 high-performance cores. But even that, right now on the current M1, you've got 4 performance and 4 high-efficiency. So doubling that to 8, or going up to 12 or 16, that machine would just scream, absolutely scream. Display-wise, as we see here, it's unclear, they said, if they'll make any real differences, but they are expecting that it's going to be a bevel reduction, which is what I would think as well, because that's what we saw from the 2015 MacBook Pro really to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Price point, and this is something that I'll completely agree on. It really depends if this is going to be a replacement for the current M1s or if this is going to be something that they tack on to that existing lineup. Because if it's a tack on to the existing, of course it's going to be, you can still get the M1 for the same probably current price and then pay more if you want to get the M1X or the M2 or whatever they call it. But if they decide, you know what, it's been 9 months or so since we released the M1, this is now the new machine. We're not going to have the 13-inch anymore. It's going to be the 14-inch. They may actually just release it at the exact same price. And have different tiers, of course. Do you want an 8-core? Do you want this 12? Do you want the 16? So that could be good, but I don't think we'll know more about that until we get closer to the actual release date. It's also, they say here, expecting that we'll see a slight bump in screen resolution, moving up from the 2560 by 1600 to something higher. How much higher? Again, we don't really know. Design-wise, it's going to be a lot more squared off, just like the iPad Air is all getting that kind of squared off look. The iPhone's getting that squared off look. They all kind of resemble and look like the iPad Pro. So that is a design that we're all expecting to have come out for the MacBooks as well as for the iMacs, because both of these are due for a bit of a cosmetic change. So again, if you're someone that likes to buy a machine every 4, 5, 6 years, and whenever you buy it, you'd like it to look different and look new and look more current, then these machines coming out could definitely be the big one for you, for sure. A few more things, just little things, of course, is that there's a possibility that we could get a bigger trackpad. Now, I don't know why you need a bigger trackpad than what's currently on the MacBooks. It's very large to start with, probably one of the largest in the industries. And I just would be concerned that if you make it any bigger, you'd be touching it a lot more accidentally than you would like to. So we'll see. And the last one they talk about is touchscreen, and they're just like, no, there's no rumors of that. So I can't see Apple going touchscreen. They've invested so much, I believe, into the actual trackpad, and I think that's kind of where they want your hands to lie. I guess we'll see. Now, the other one, and this is kind of cool, and this is probably the biggest reason I think when this machine comes out, it'll be the one that so many people, even if they've just bought a new machine, will go to, because I've done so many videos since, really like the last 2 years, when the MacBooks just kind of abandoned all the ports and went to USB-C ports on all kinds of different like dongles that you could get and adapters and little USB-C hubs. But here's some images, and this is from Mac Rumors, of some of the previous generations, all the way up until they just kind of again abandoned all of them and went USB-C. Over the years we've kind of just gotten less and less and less ports, and now even on this one we've got two ports. And for some people that's fine. Even for me, I can get by with that. There's a lot of things I have to plug in, but I can get by with it. But having those ports, and you can see here, right? Having these ports could be a huge asset. So one of the new rumors, of course, is a few things. No touch bar, which I'm on the fence in regards to whether I will miss it or not. I do use it. I don't use it a lot, but I do use it. But the big one is that we could be getting ports back. Which ports? We don't really know. Rumor says that we could be getting a MagSafe, not that it's a port, but how we charge our computer. So that could be really cool, getting that back, because even with USB-C, someone gives a good someone gives a good tug on that cable, your machine's going flying, and nobody wants that. But I would like to remain having at least 2 USB-C ports on it. But we have a whole side over here. We have a whole side on the right-hand side that right now, on the 13-inch especially, isn't being used. It would be great to see a USB-A style. Would be awesome to see an HDMI external or port to go out. That would be fantastic. And if you couldn't give me any of them because of the thickness of them, the rumor here is that, again, and this one is on The Verge, that the 2021 MacBook Pros will bring back the SD card slot. Yeah, that's the winner, the SD card slot, because Out of all the dongles and all the extra ports that I use, the SD card slot is without a question the one that I use the most. And it's a big one for those of us that are like content creators, because the majority of us shoot off of cameras, and I at times will shoot off 2 if not 3 of these cameras right here, and they all shoot to SD cards. So not having to carry around any kind of external adapter could be huge. And if they sell that machine with that, even if it's just a little bit more money, yeah, that could almost be worth it by itself. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the possibility of a 2021 MacBook Pro 14 and possibly, well, for sure, a 16-inch? Which one would you look at? And have you bought a new M1 already and now kind of are like, oh, maybe I should have waited? You know, I have an M1, and as much as I love it, some of those new features could be actually really nice. All right, guys, leave comments down below because I'm always interested. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, give it a little thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you feel, and we will see you guys next video. All right, my friends, I'm out. Yeah, MacBook Pro M1X or 2. I like this. An end to the dongle hell. Yeah.